How are you feeling after that? Now, it's a little bit of a shock to try and just turn around and see yourself as the fault here. Now, nobody's blaming you for ruining anybody's life. But I am starting to point to you as responsible. Now, we just don't realize how responsible we are. This thing called an ego is just what we assume how things work. We never start to question it. And if you remember, I was mentioning before how we can look at somebody meditating and they try to notice the mind from a bit of a distance. Okay, and if you can do that, you start to see this thing having thoughts in front of you. And in one way, it's kind of like if you are just the physical person, and let's call the metaphor of your clothing the ego. So one day when you put on your work clothes and you go out and you have your personality through work. And you put on a different set of clothes to hang out with your friends and have a different personality, as you do. And a different one with your parents and your brother or sister, and as a mother or a father, and as a partner. You have all these different personalities in your life. And they change minute to minute, whether you're hungry, angry, day to day. Your dreams change when your goals become possible or not possible. And we change day to day. This thing called a personality and the identity is so flexible, and we'll say flexible in that we can change it as we wish, because the identity sits in the mind. Okay? Now, there's not a thing wrong with that. Our identity can stay there if you want. It always has for the majority of people. But knowing the truth that you are the consciousness underneath means that there's no flexibility in you anymore. Now you can live on the boat, the ground, whatever. It's always stable underneath you. Now, many people, when they do a spiritual quest, this is what happens. They go in search for the consciousness itself. You just don't realize it. And it exists inside of everybody. Now, you'll see then that nothing can be created and without being part of somebody's ego construct. Okay, so that's why the Bible's been written by how many different people and in different ways. You can pick up any old text and they've all been translated, but they all read in a different way. And no matter what you want to look at in society, any rules, anything you think is just how it is, no, somebody has created it through their own lens. This is okay. You're wondering, oh, how do we do it any different? Good question. But don't just consider everything as a fact. Okay? That includes what you're meant to do with your life, how you're meant to be as a mother or father, how long you're meant to live, what you eat. No facts, there's only opinions here. And you can listen to whatever you want. You're not under any sort of strict guidelines to do anything other than following these thoughts in your mind, believing that's how it is. So as I mentioned at the end of one of the sections, I'm not trying to turn you into a skeptic. I'm just trying to let you see the truth. So don't even trust the things that you believe are exactly how you are. It's just how I am. I've heard that a million times. No, I behave this way. Oh, no, this is just me. No, all you're doing is justifying behavior through some sort of ego in the moment. It's a subjective opinionated lens. And tomorrow when you're feeling different, you'll justify yourself and your behavior in a different way. And everybody out there is doing it. Now, it's just how it is. It's okay. But don't be fooled. And you'll start to see why you are different day to day. Your identity is a thought. So your purpose. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about purpose later on in the course. Don't be disheartened by this. Now, purpose was some sort of fairy tale. Yet it means nothing about how happy you are and whether you get fulfillment in your life or contentment. It's just an idea. Okay? The purpose is no different than a fairy tale. And you're free because of it. Don't find disappointment in this idea. Now, there's only subjectivity, so your mother's purpose for you would be different than yours. And when society looks back on you after your time's gone, and they define that they were meant to do this, that was their purpose in life. No, it's just opinions. You can't avoid them. Don't stress about this, it's your freedom. So nothing is permanently how it is. Not even the laws on the streets from the police. I'm not asking you to break any laws. I just want you to see that nothing is anything but subjective. This will end up giving you your freedom. And you'll see as we work through.